Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're live. Hey folks, so we are today not at the piano. We'll be briefly talk about what happened in round 3 of the Chopin competition, and we're probably gonna go over a few let's say a few interesting parts of the session, and at the same time how we sort of look at the final 11. The final 11, let's say, and what are my takes of the final 11. So what's going to happen right now is I will share with you who actually played, because we have 20 fantastic pianists who performed in the semi-final round, and 11 of them made it through. So I would like to share my screen, which is something like this. Okay. So as you can see, that this is the YouTube video part where these are the folks that have all played. There should be 20 of them. So we started with Eric, actually with Jack, and then there should be 20 of them, right? There are 20 of them. Good, very good. So, okay, so we could go one by one. Because I do have a sort of a side sheet that is that you can probably tell from the side. So why don't we do this? See if you can see both screens. Oh no, you can't see both screens, huh? Let's see. Window capture. Can this cast two things? No, I guess not. So split screen is actually not an option here. Okay, well, unless I need to learn how to do it then. Okay, so what we have here is, okay, so now you do see the players. So we just go one by one, and then my general impressions. So the first person is going to be Eric Guo. So Eric is the period instrument winner from, what is it, 2023? So not too long ago, and he is a very confident player. He's a very confident pianist. Let me actually just make sure that, he's a very confident pianist, and he's also very relaxed, so he is certainly very comfortable with the instruments. His repertoire was the following. He played the third ballade, the Opus 59 Mazurkas, the B flat minor scherzo, and then the Opus 51 Impromptu in G flat, and then the second piano sonata. I need to recall a great deal about what Eric did specially, and I think that's telling. Because if I have to recall very hard about something very finessed that he did, then maybe there's something missing. Maybe. I mean, all of these are just my only one impression of listening through the session. I did listen through every single piece, and I didn't make enough comments, but you can see that I do have a set of criteria to judge each player. So in the third round, what I changed from my second round is actually I will give a score to the program coherence and design, because you get only two things are required. It's the mazurkas, one full set of mazurka, and then you have to play a full sonata, 2 or 3. So, and you have to make up the rest up to 45 to 55 minutes. So you have actually quite some time to spend. As you can tell, all the players have vastly different repertoire prepared, other than the sonatas and the mazurki. So what Eric did here is now you can see that and I'm going to talk about criteria. Then I have something about style in the sense that whether this is Chopin style or not, whether or the Chopin style is sort of also certainly subjective. Personality. So this is the part that I also look for. Whether this person has brought something of his own into the music. And then I look at the two main parts of the round, which is the mazurka and the sonata. And the score is split this way. The score is I give 10% just to the program design, and then split the rest of the four criteria equally. Now you can say that maybe the style and personality are cooked into mazurka and sonata. Yeah, that's right. That's fine. So there is some. These are not exactly independent, but I will judge based on. I think this is what makes me feel comfortable about looking at something that is specific, but also something that is general. Because these two things can be also inferred from the pieces that are not required. The pieces that are free to design. So if you have a very good program, it's not going to be overwhelming. It's going to be not going to be overwhelmingly weighted, but it's going to be something like this. Okay, so what I wanted to say now is that, as you can tell, the score that I gave Eric is as follows. I gave a 7 for the program design. Now, if you scroll by my entire setup, I don't give a score more than 8. So 7 is a high score. And I think there are several lines of reasoning for this. So I would like to mention the following. Is so the reason why, for example, I say sometimes it's a good design is because, for example, the pianist considered the tonality that translates between certain pieces, or whether they considered, let's say, it's a natural progression from one note, let's say, the ending of a piece to the start of the next piece. They don't have to be in the same key. I mean, that would be, that would be rough, right? But at the same time, whether the previous piece is a loud, grandiose piece, maybe the next one should cleanse the palate, and then certain considerations like that. So from Eric, now this is interesting because he starts with the third ballade, which is in A flat and stays A flat. Throughout ends in A flat, anyways. Now the Mazurka 59 is a very cool set of 3 mazurkas. It starts with an A minor mazurka. Okay, excuse my singing. But the mazurka starts with A minor. So now you can say, well, A minor and A flat. Maybe you can say, hey, well, the A flat could be just a leading tone into it. So that's why I gave it some thought. I think that was cool. Then, what I don't quite see is the third mazurka of Opus 59 actually is a F sharp minor one, but it ends on F sharp major. Now, F sharp major connecting to now it's a very quiet piece to end. Well, actually not exactly too quiet. So I want to show you the score a little bit. So let's see. Interesting. It's not finding. No, can you find it now? Oh, still can't. Oh, okay, there you go. Bam, bam. Okay, so there you go. So this is the part that I want to speak about. Is actually, just look at the ending phrases, right? It's actually like a short coda that concludes the work. With some reasonably fast, brisk runs, But then in the last 8 measures, it's really a declaration. It's a solemn sostenuto declaration, which actually sounds very nice in the tenor voice. So then you really end bim bum bum bum, and then you end. Now, what I am insinuating here about the choice is because after this work, Eric will play the second scherzo, which starts on B flat. It's a B flat minor piece. So that's where I felt that the connection is not as strong, but maybe it's not really a deal breaker. That's why it's not weighted as heavily. And then, okay. And then what else did he play? He played and then after that is so the B flat minor scherzo ends in D flat major, which basically transitions very nicely as a dominant to the G flat major impromptu, which then I gave a high praise for, and then he falls back to the B flat minor, which is also very cool. So there is some sort of B flat minor connections here and there, and that's why I gave an overall score of 7. Now, this is just thoughts about sort of construction of just this design. So whether this person came here to give a concert or to play a competition. Now, people are aware that you should be playing for the competition, but the issue is, what are we here for? I mean, eventually they will go out there and they're going to have to perform in concerts, so that the listeners are happy, not just the judges, right? Not just the judges. Otherwise, we should have the crowd giving us the prizes, which is not happening right now. So, and I gave Eric. So I'm not big on Eric's sort of very straightforward technical approaches to Chopin's work. Did he really play Chopin, or did he really not? Did he not? I think that's up to the judgment of all of us. I don't find it particularly convincing, yet I still gave him 6. 6 is a high score here. I think what he's lacking, usually, also in previous rounds, is that he is too objective of a player. So that's why I cannot give him a high score here. However, he is ranked number 6 in the third round. And in fact, aggregate with the previous round. So we learned from Ben Laude that the third round, in order to go into the final, you will have a 10, 20, 70 split between round 1, 2, and 3 scores. Well, I didn't watch the round 1, so I'm giving 20, 80, round 2 and round 3 in my aggregate. And this ended up actually still putting him at rank 10, which we'll go through. So it's not entirely that I don't like what he did, but so I mean he is among the last few to go into the final. Okay, so but you see this is sort of the more verbose version of each person. Now I'm gonna pick a few highlights that I really enjoyed. This guy. Where's the guy? This guy. So David Krikuli from Georgia. He played the Opus 56 Mazurkas, and then the second sonata as well. Also the G flat major impromptu. He played the 42 Waltz. I think he played another Waltz earlier because that was forced to play. He played the he played the 18 or 34. I forgot. And then he ends with the scherzo number 4. So what I'm trying to say here is, I think we found the next Yafim Bronfman. This is the comment. Now, this guy doesn't look like Bronfman, but at times I would believe that he has a large, steady hand that is able to produce deeper sounds. And the way that I characterized it, now you see he is not entirely sort of, if you look at my score, like he is not blowing everybody out of the water, right? His third round is actually not as strong as I thought. But I think he's solid. He is a well-rounded, he's a well-rounded player that has shown certain personality somewhere here and there, not everywhere. And of course, I'm sure that everybody is aware of the fact that showing too much personality may be bad for for the outcome, because you will you will piss off the conservative section of the jury. Usually, it's a very risky move, even though I don't see the whole point of not doing so. I mean, this is your stage. But is there something that really stands out from this round? From David? Actually, no. I think he's just, the pieces suit him very well. For example, the fourth scherzo, even if he plays the third scherzo, I think it will fit him very well too. In fact, did he play a scherzo in the third round? David. He played the scherzo number 3. There you go. Yeah. And actually, the Opus 44 Polonaise fits him very well as well. Okay. All right, next person is the Japanese lady, Shuri. There's something about her that I don't know, that I think that is growing on me. Her tone quality is very consistent. Now, all of these are ideas from just listening through the YouTube or through the recordings. So they're not necessarily representing what's true live. But even through, let's say, the reduced quality of the recording, you can still hear that she is effortless around the piano, and nothing, let's say, really pierces out. Unlike someone, I'm gonna just say someone who actually does produce those things, and I'm sure locally at live, I'm sure that their tone quality is not very good. So Shuri is somebody who is probably growing on me. Wanted to mention that also. Okay, so let's move on. Who else? So Tian Yao Liu, this little Chinese girl, she's only 16. And who you see, I was actually revisiting her video a few times earlier, and she played the Opus 59 Mazurka, and then he played a single prelude, which is the Raindrop Prelude. And then to pair with that, you start right off into the B minor sonata, and it ends with the Berceuse. Now, who ends a program with the Berceuse? This means somebody really enjoys the Berceuse. My take here is that the Mazurka F sharp minor ends in F sharp major, which is basically enharmonic to G flat, pairs well with D flat. And then the D flat pairs well with the first note of the sonata, which is a D flat. And then you go on to hear something that is in B flat minor, and then you go back to the relative major. So this whole thing makes sense. This whole setup makes sense. This whole setup is is there why that I gave her 7? Yeah, I might as well give her 8. So, but that doesn't change the fact that she is, yeah, she has very special moments in the pursuits and the quiet parts of the mazurka. She is presenting maturity out of more than her age. Now, an honorable mention would be Peter Pollack, because he chose one of the somehow one of the underplayed work, but I don't think it deserves any more playing, which is the Rondo a la Krakowiak. So it's certainly from Krakow, right? So this is Rondo in the theme of a Krakowiak dance, right? Okay. Oh man, how to put that? I think he played it just for that. I can guarantee you that Peter probably has played all Chopin work. Now, which is a great thing. Which is a great thing to have. But he makes so many mistakes in the rondo. Now, without losing poise, right? But then he, at the same time, made a lot of mistake in the third sonata. I think that's probably why he's knocked out. If he is more stable, I think his aggregate score will probably carry him through. Now, too bad for Peter. He has participated in the Chopin competition 3 times in a row, and this is the furthest he has gone. So I think now Peter is actually age 30. Peter is actually a fellow mathematician, so he is at the, I think, University of Gdansk, and he is working on, I don't know, topology and some algebra stuff. Or, I mean, he's probably extremely smart, but I hope that his future career will take him somewhere else. I mean, he will continue to be a great pianist regardless, but certainly he has another avenue. The next person, now I'm gonna go against fan favorite here. This is Tomoharu Ushida. So first of all, Tomoharu Ushida went overtime. Like way overtime, 5 minutes overtime. Is that enough reason to cancel him? I am not sure. But is it enough reason to still include him? Now, you see, I gave him pretty good grades, actually. I gave him very good. In fact, for me, he is number 4. I let him through. But I think he has demonstrated some sense that, let's say, space needs to be appreciated. Now, did he do them very well? I need to recall a little bit more. But I think he understands that space needs to be given. Unlike Kate Liu from, let's say, 10 years ago, that Kate Liu not only appreciated space, but also did them very well. But I've just lowered my standards maybe overall, that if you have an appreciation for time, then you really need to highlight them. Okay. Next person will be Ziteng Wang, who is my current favorite. I think she demonstrates what Tomoharu is yearning for, yet Tomoharu is unable to do so. Ziteng puts very precise time delays of the time that she wants to take, and she doesn't necessarily give them back. So in her mazurka in particular, and she also includes the probably never played waltz, which is the posthumous, E minor waltz, E major waltz, and I've heard of it before, but it's something that's probably only just played ever one time. Fascinating scherzo, number 1, very actually dangerous. It sounds menacing. It sounds menacing in where it needs to sound. If you don't look at the picture, you would think that it was, let's say, some kind of Pogorelic or maybe, I mean, okay, maybe not Horowitz level, but Pogorelic level sort of. Yeah, it sounds dangerous. And it's a good thing. I think Scherzo 1 needs to sound dangerous. There's lots of folks from China who's thinking about Yifan Wu. Now, Ifan did play very well, I think, in the previous two rounds, but I think it's actually the mistakes that costed him here. Now, I actually had a higher sort of a disagreements with his F major ballade. It's lacking some relentlessness. If it now he is probably treating the F major ballade as the middle of the work, the middle of the program, so he's not really giving it all. Certainly, to end on the third sonata, you're sort of bringing this entire thing all the way till the end. However, the F major sonata, the ballade, yeah, still requires a bit of grit. So you can have subdued grit, but we need the grit there, and I guess that wasn't there. That wasn't there. Yeah, yeah. So now next would be William. Now William, I have spoken positively and negatively about William. Um, Now I've started to appreciate what William can do. Now it started with a controversial, certainly second ballade, which I think is absolutely robotic, and I think it's by choice that he chose to play it that way. Now, I don't agree with it. I think it's a highly emotional piece that demands almost almost a crazy level of contrast, but that wasn't shown. But from the mazurka and from the sonata, I think he has demonstrated ultimate control of the instrument. Now, whether he has personality or not, it's yet I probably need to talk to him. But at the moment, the piano is not speaking to me as much of him as a person, other than being rigid. However, the only sort of the command of the instrument itself alone will be enough for me to say that he should be going on to the final, and he should keep playing. And he is at my number 2 rank, and then he aggregate rankings number 3. And lastly, two more. Kevin Chan. Kevin Chan is the Chad who played all 12 Opus 10 etudes in the previous round. Again, very similar ideas as William, as in he also has ultimate control of the instrument, which I believe that he should be able to allow to play on. But what I did not like this time is that he is kind of a little bit shaken up in the sonata and the F minor ballade. I think he's shaken up, and also through the mazurka, I didn't quite feel enough sensitivity as I would have expected from his previous round. So now both William and Kevin have excellent command of the piano, but William is showing at least something about the sensitivities. Kevin may have them, but they just didn't quite show in the third round. So that's why I didn't let him pass. 11 this round, and then 12 aggregate. Lastly is Eric Liu. The only thing that I will say about Eric Liu is extremely polished. He's already at our age, which is, I think, in the 30s. Eric Liu is probably 30 now. The only thing that really got him through this round is his sonata. It's his B minor sonata that that has captured what William and Kevin could not have done, maybe ever. And I put him through because I liked Eric on the previous round. So these are the current outlook of the sort of my take on of the sessions. Now, who is going to win? Who is going to not? Let me see. So who did they put through? So they put through David, Shuri. Now I will just make a quick comment here. Shuri, even though being extremely consistent, Shuri is the ultimate craftsman, but she, I think, lacks that bit of genius, spontaneity at the keyboard. Maybe she has it if she is not If she will probably have it if she is not, let's say, um, competing. But I think these things will show. These things will show. Sometimes you just let your talent really shine and get away without worrying about whether you're pleasing anyone or not. Now she is not certainly trying to please anyone, but I think she's very safe. So the point that I'm making is that Shuri will be possibly a prize winner, but she will not be prize one. She will not be top gold. She will not earn gold. David, I think if he doesn't mess up the concerto, I think he has a good chance of being also a prize winner. Now, maybe there will be some politics about him being Georgian and then winning a gold medal, but remember, he also chose the F minor concerto. That's why I have a feeling that he's not going to be top prize, but who knows? Who knows? All previous winners have been E minor concerto, other than Dong Tai Sun. And also, we learned of the weightings of the final is 35-35, right? For the 35-35 for what? For the third round and the final round, and 10 and 20 for the first two. And of course, they're going to have to play Polonaise Fantasy, which I'm going to comment on. Okay, the next one through is Li Tianyou. I don't quite recall what he did. I think he is among my several last, so I don't really care too much. This guy doesn't pass. Little girl, sure. I look forward to her playing. I forgot what she selected. Maybe the E minor. Because out of the last 12, 11, how many do we have? I think 7 E minors and 4 F minors. So already a lot of F minors, which is good. Now, Vincent, I don't get it. So I'm not going to even argue here. I let Peter through because I think he's well-rounded. We should hear him more. Miyu Shindo, she has ideas. She has quite some ideas especially, let's say, in the Mazurka and in Opus 22. But I just, for some reason, I think they're slightly cheaper readings of the score. So I didn't quite let her through, but apparently the system likes her. Zitong, sure, absolutely, my current favorite. Yifan, I'm just giving him a chance because he couldn't make it initially, but then tied at 11, so he will make it. So William Yang, sure. And then lastly, Eric Liu, yes, okay. And then actually both Peter and Kevin Chen are through. I'm not too sure about this Peter, but actually I don't get the appeal from this Peter. I have no clue. I have actually no clue why he is chosen that way. I did not particularly like his prelude, his Opus 45 prelude, because it sounded just meek all the way. But it's actually not a meek work. It's actually you have a large outburst. Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue why this is being let through. Kevin Chen, sure. Then maybe with the first round, he is good enough that he will get through because he's on the border right here. Okay. So I'm gonna comment lastly on: do I want to hear this person's Polonaise fantasy? So David, yes, I would like to hear him. I don't know what he is gonna bring. Is he gonna bring finally the very sensitive side of him? Maybe he will. Shuri, of course, absolutely. Let's see what she does. Or is she going to just provide us a very standard treatment of the Polonaise fantasy, which then I really will dislike. Because the Polonaise fantasy, at that stage, by that time, in the final round, if you're still thinking about trying to be safe and trying to not mess up and trying to just stay standard, I think you're making a massive big mistake, because that will be the only time that you get to demonstrate some personality, and that piece will be able to expedite your display of personality. Now, Taeyo Lee, I don't know why I put yes. I forgot already. Certainly the little girl, because I'm curious of how sort of a 16-year-old will get to feel the complexity, really the fantasy side of the Polonaise fantasy. I mean, she gets the Polonaise very well. She, in fact, played the Opus 22 Polonaise, and she sounded fantastic on that piece. But it's a very young piece. It's a piece for a very young person. But Opus 61, Polonaise fantasy, we need to think about it more. And let's see if she will do it or not. Now, among the other yeses, Vincent, I don't care. Miyu Shindo, I do not quite care. But I will listen to all of them, of course. Zitong Wang, of course. I have enjoyed almost everything that she has played so far, so why not look forward to her Polonaise fantasy. And then we have William Yan. No. I heard his Polonaise fantasy the first time when he won the US event, and I was like, this person must have learned it like last night. And in fact, we learned from somebody that he did, in fact, need to learn the piece for the competition. Peter, Kevin, I don't really care. And lastly, Eric Liu, no. I don't. If there's only one person on the fence here that whether I would like to listen to the PF or not, then it will be Eric Liu. So I'm gonna put a no, but a question mark, I guess. Okay, so this is pretty much what's sort of happening around this current edition of 2025 event. I'm not surprised by all the people who are now inside top 11. I wish the number of top candidates should be smaller, maybe down to 6. But this has been the tradition that they allow 10, at least in the recent years. That seems because the number of applicants and number of qualified people are so much out there that you probably have to allow a bit more room to so that the talents are not wasted. But I think the true sparks around this time for me is I'm looking forward to Zitong Wang's performance. I don't remember what she will play though. I should probably check this because they probably have live set up already. Oh no, this is only just one day. Okay, so this will be for tomorrow. So Lee is playing. Yeah, and also I wonder if anyone would play the Polonaise fantasy later, as in next to the concerto. Well, it's going to be 3 E minor concertos and then 1 F minor concerto played by Eric Liu. Yeah, okay. Eric Liu is I look forward to that because he hasn't played this last time. He played the E minor concerto. And Eric Liu was what? 4th place, right? 4th place, yeah. Okay. So I actually want to see one more thing here, as in. So do they show what repertoire they play? Maybe they don't. So I'm gonna look at calendar. Yeah, there you go. Okay, Eric Liu. Oh wait. So then let me look at Sunday. So will be Zitong Wang is gonna play the E minor. Okay. E minor, E minor, F minor, F minor. So William will play the F minor, and then Peter will also play the F minor. Okay. And then the last day would be David. So Kevin will play E minor. David will play F minor. Shuri will play E minor. Okay. Yeah, I need to think about it a little more because, well, obviously, I think no one is going to play the Polonaise fantasy afterwards. I'm interested in knowing whether there's a rule that specifically says that. So regulations. This. Final. Okay, final round, it says, so these are just stuff. Final round, Polonaise Fantasy, one of the concerto. So it didn't say the pieces must be performed in this order, right? Yeah. I mean, round 3, they would say that the mazurka have to play it in order, right? Um, yeah, it didn't quite say. If it says in order, it will say 1 and 2, right? They obviously know how to label this. They have the option of labeling this. So I wonder if anyone should play the Polonaise Fantasy last. Well, that's the question. I think Polonaise Fantasy shouldn't be played in public at all. Such a personal piece. Shouldn't be played in big halls. Should be played at home or in a much smaller hall. Much more intimate sections. But okay, all right. Now this will be blasted in a large hall. There will be certain parts of the Polonaise Fantasy that you can barely hear them. But then there will be parts of the Polonaise Fantasy that will be very loud. That will be very actually a Polonaise. So yeah, well, I need to think about it. Anyways, this is today's take. This is the take of the recent Chopin competition. So if you would like to discuss this, maybe join the stream some other times, feel free to let me know over email, and we can arrange you. So cheers.